Alright, first question of the test. Geometry Dash is to speedrunning as food is to a rock? When you think of Geometry Dash, speedrunning probably isn't the first thing that comes to mind. I mean, after all, it is a side-scrolling platformer at a set speed, and there isn't really any way to go much faster than this set speed. However, with some intense workout and much training. However, when challenges involving chaining levels together are introduced, this concept of Geometry Dash speedruns begins to have its merit. However, I don't think speedrun is the proper term for this run. There are no fancy tricks like in most speedruns, no clipping through walls to save a couple frames. But what these runs do have in common with other speedruns is consistency and precision. Like in most speedruns, in Geometry Dash, if you make one wrong move, you lose and it's a reset. But what makes this one unique is that there are no incredibly long and arduous tricks to learn, like a CRC in Mario Odyssey for example. It's just straight up consistency in your play of Geometry Dash. So I'll show most of the categories in the game, such as any percent, 100%, as well as the gauntlet runs, where this may vary as in categories such as the demon runs, as those require the player to create their own route. And with the ever-changing amount of levels available, there's almost an endless wave of new potential for world records if the right level is found. And that category, Demon Percent, is where we're going to focus today, because that's just how much I love Satan. The category's rules are simple. The challenge is to complete 5-star rated demons as quickly as possible. This opens the door for a lot of possibilities, such as a sweaty mouse. Now I was going to say players could focus on harder, shorter demons to help improve their time, such as Lust or Sock Open Hell, or shorter and easier ones that could help ensure they wouldn't die, like the Nightmare. We're saying the same thing. The first run in the Demon Percent category was posted on May 19th, 2017. The run was submitted by a runner named Cos80, and it involves the Nightmare, the demon I mentioned previously as being a bit on the longer side, but not being too long to warrant not playing it at the time. This isn't to mention how ridiculously easy this level is. I've said it for a long time, but I think some hard rated levels in this game are harder than some of these easy rated demons. The other 4 levels in the run include the Lightning Road, which is another relatively easy level. You know it's true because I've beaten it. Insomnia, Demon Mixed, and Platinum Adventure. The final time for the run was 6 minutes 53 seconds. The theme of the run is what I mentioned previously. All these levels are over a minute and closer to a minute and a half to 2 minutes in most cases. This run, while safe in the fact that the levels were fairly easy, which showed in the 0 deaths throughout the run, could be optimized by newer times if they found the grind worthy by completing harder and shorter levels. The thing I find most interesting about the speedrun is that it's more about the hunt for the correct levels rather than the execution of them. Basically what I'm saying? It's a no skill run, so I have a chance. This record stood for only a few months, as a runner named Mathis J123 would claim the record with a 6 minute 28 second time on July 27, 2017. Now obviously the only way a runner could take this record by a significant amount is by simply finding quicker star rated demons easy enough to be completed in a row. Mathis did this by incorporating 2 different levels than Cos80, which were Speed Racer and Speed of Light. The levels these replaced in the original one were Insomnia and Platinum Adventure. For reference on how much quicker these levels would end up being, in the original run Platinum Adventure took about 90 seconds while Insomnia lasted for a little over a minute, while Speed of Light was 1 minute and 5 seconds and Speed Racer was closer to 1 minute and 7 seconds. And just for reference, those times are without loading times through the animation of your cube completing the level. As you can see with this comparison, there's about an 18 to 20 second disparity between how long each pair of levels could take, which explains the gap between the 2 runs. However, this does leave a few extra seconds that can't be explained through this idea, which is because while the gameplay itself cannot be sped up, the player still had to navigate through to their levels, which depending on click speed, could be the difference in a few seconds during a speedrun. Although to think of how petty complaining about this is, thinking about all the other tricks that go into actual skill-based categories, this is so difficult. Another run was not submitted onto the leaderboards for about another year, but on August 22nd, 2018, Marin the Lemon completed a run in 5 minutes 38 seconds, almost a minute quicker than the previous world record set at 6:28. In this run, Marin the Lemon played Fractured Circles, Problematic, Insomnia, which is a level constant with the first run, Ultra Paracosm, and a level titled Blue Hell. Now an important note while regarding level length, each level is tagged with the notation depending on the length of the level, or the amount of seconds it takes to complete the level. The tiny distinction is given to levels 10 seconds or shorter, short levels between 10 to 29 seconds, medium levels between 30 to 59, long levels between 60 and 119, and anything longer than that is considered extra large. But these ratings can be tampered with the speed boosters in the game. The problem with this system is that there's a minute of gray area presented with the tag of a level being long. Because this is the most specific timing system in the game and because of how many levels players would have to sort through, it was difficult for runners to find unique ideas for quick and easy demons to complete. Because if they're anything like me, they just search up whatever the easiest demon were to inflate their profile counter. Now, who wrote the script? I didn't. And that is what is so interesting about this run. All these levels played by Marin the Lemon were tagged as long, similarly to all the other runners, but Marin was able to claim a time almost a minute faster than the other runners. Because to have this tag, each level must be at least a minute long, but there's no distinction of whether it's a minute long or a minute 59. I'll begin by saying Fractured Circles is literally as short as a long level can be. And the same goes for Problematic, which combined clock in for about 2 minutes of gameplay. Playing these two levels single-handedly saves close to half a minute off the last world record, even if Marin opted to play it safe and play levels such as the Nightmare later in the run. As we mentioned in the original run, Insomnia was about a minute long as well, leading to a very well optimized time to this point. If the world record was for long demons, this would be about as good as you can get. Blue Hell also clocks in about a minute, but this run is somewhat set back by Ultra Paracosm, which is about a minute and 12 seconds long. While this overall was a very good run considering the runner only played long demons, it was clear soon enough runners would have to begin playing shorter and more difficult levels to improve their times further. This is because with a shorter level to achieve the same level of difficulty as a longer one, you needed to be more difficult. Another world record was set by a runner named Indiv almost a year later, this one in July of 2019. You know what's funny? I guess you could say the summer was a hotspot for these runs. This run was a massive improvement over the previous one as it cut the world record to 4 minutes and 9 seconds. But with that time cut comes a much harder journey, and a rage compilation at the beginning of the video.
Are you kidding me?
In Geometry Dash, demons are grouped into categories based on how difficult they are compared to others. The most difficult are called extreme demons, while the easiest are called, fittingly, easy demons. In most of the previous runs, the runners were able to play easy demons at the cost of some length in their levels, but since the world record for long demons had pretty much been set, Indiv knew he had to step up his game to achieve a much faster record. He began his run with an insane demon, which is the level below extreme, interestingly at a long length, called Speedcore. Now the reason the length is interesting is because the length of the level does not account for speed changes of the cube. This level in a normal layout would take equitable amounts of time to the previous long levels put into other runs. However, this one is rammed to the highest speed in the game. But with that comes the price of the level being much harder than the previous ones. The level was completed in just 40 seconds. The second level he played was called Star Chaser. This one is on his list, likely for one reason. It's easy and it's medium length, meaning completion in less than a minute. He was able to complete it in about 45 seconds, and because it was at least somewhat easier than his previous level, he was able to relax more throughout his playthrough rather than sweat through another difficult level and risk the entire run. This is the exact reason that most of these runners had not integrated the fastest levels yet, because linking these levels together in one attempt each would take unbelievable skill and persistence, not to mention consistent focus. The third level was Hyper Fantasy, a long, this time medium demon, with some speed changes to help improve the time of the level. The final time clocks in at about 43 seconds. The next level was one called Lust, which is a medium length medium demon that lasted for about 48 seconds. And finally a level called Five Nights Palapo, which was long but with speed changes lasts only about 50 seconds. And with that, the world record was down to just over 4 minutes. A time that would take some very difficult levels to beat. The world record, as impressive as it was, would last for only a month. In August of 2019, a runner named Z Gizbro would beat it by 4 seconds. Because this run was a minimal improvement over the last, I'm not going to go into every detail of it, but just know the runner used a similar strategy to Indiv, playing an insane demon in Lightwave, and then finished it out with 4 demons we've seen previously: Speedcore, Lust, Hyper Fantasy, and Five Nights Palapo. Z Gizbro added one new level, but was able to get a world record by 4 seconds because the level was just slightly faster than the one he cut out. The next world record would be recorded on March 13th, 2021. The runner Exerity took a bold approach to the run, playing 2 levels ranked Hard Demon or above and playing just one previously established level, which was Hyper Fantasy. The others, including Feral and Speakwu, were harder demons at faster paces, and Ball and Error, which both lay on the easier side but were both actually medium in length, rounded out a run that accomplished a time of 3 minutes and 45 seconds. 20 entire seconds better than the previous run. Now the reason I'm not going too far into depth on this run, or the next one set by runner Right Clicks at 3 minutes and 42 seconds or some month later, is because in May of the same year, a runner named Luqualizer, you know, that sounds like the name of a lethal gun in a kid's cartoon, but alright, cracked the code further down than what it had ever been done before. By playing Ascending, Error, Bullen, Neum, and Speakwu, Luqualizer had taken the world record down another 20 seconds, down to just 3 minutes and 22 seconds to complete 5 demon levels. And that's what's crazy about this run. Only one of the demons he played was over the rating of a medium demon. He was able to find a combination combining levels from old runs and new levels he had discovered the quick pace of to bust the world record directly in half. Something I like so much about this run, normally in speedrunning, runners rip off each other's ideas and tricks in order to pull off a faster time. However, with this run, the fastest time for each combination of levels is usually taken by the author of the order. For a new runner to take the world record, they would have to do some writing of their own, or at least a little bit of it. Therefore, it adds a little bit of a mental game to speedrunning, rather than just be the fastest to do this trick. In October of 2021, we're out of summer. Lexicon was able to piece together previously run levels such as Ascending by right-clicks, Bullen and Speakwu, and Neum, and a level called Cozy, which was a medium demon at medium length. And that's all there is to it. No tricks, no movement, just beat the levels and you win. Now, this video isn't necessarily about the importance in this record, as this category isn't incredibly active or really big at all. This video is more to discuss one of the most unique speedruns of all time, one that has no tricks other than playing the damn game. And you only need one hand to do it!